So it's a little bit of a sad day for us today as we're leaving Annapolis. We've really liked it here, haven't we?
Loved it.
We didn't really plan to stay that long, but we've ended up staying, I think, over a month now. So we've got to know the place really, really well, and it's a great place for getting boat jobs done. It's like the sailing mecca on the east coast of America. And we've caught up with a lot of maintenance jobs from the Caribbean, and we've done a few boat projects here as well.
Quite a few.
Quite a few. We've been working hard. But the boat's looking really, really good, and I think we're ready to move on. So today we're going to leave Annapolis and we're going to sail up to the C&D Canal, which is the Chesapeake and Delaware Canal. It's a canal that links the two rivers or estuaries or whatever they are.
We don't really know what to call them, do we?
No, well, there are lots of rivers that go into the Chesapeake, but anyway, the canal is used by big container ships and big sort of tankers, so it's going to be quite interesting going through there, but it's a bit of a shortcut for us. It will cut a bit of time off our journey, and from there we're going to sail down the Delaware to Cape May, and we've heard Cape May might be quite nice, so we may spend a few days there. That's on the coast, and then from there I think we're going to sail directly, do an overnight sail from there directly to the top of Long Island, and then round to Sag Harbor in the Hamptons, which we're really excited about, aren't we?
Yeah, we've got some friends there, so hopefully we're going to see them and have some good fun.
Yeah, that's where Mike keeps his Hans 575, so that's his stomping ground, so I'm sure he'll look after us. But anyway, we need to get going.
I think we've got half of Back Creek Bay mud.
Oh my God, look at the chain. Bring it up. Wow. Lovely day.
Lovely day. Just thought I'd show you all of the lobster pot buoys that are along here, because it's so flat today, or balmy, as my mum would say. Not balmy as in mad, balmy as in calm and serene. Anyway, because it's so flat, you can see all the lobster pots, and when it's quite rough or windy like it was the other day when we were with Chuck from the Sailmakers, you just can't see them. So as we're going out of here today, we're blessed with this balmy weather, so hopefully we can see all of them ahead of us before we get to the bridge. We thought we'd just show you today where we're going on the charts. I think sometimes it's easier to actually zoom in and zoom out to get a real idea of where we're actually going.
So we're here at the moment in Annapolis. We're going to sail, or probably motor, up the Chesapeake to the C&D Canal. This little waterway, well, I don't think it's a little waterway, but this waterway here is the C&D Canal, and it links the Chesapeake, which is all of this, to the Delaware River. I think it's the river, which is all of this. So it saves us going all the way back down here and then all the way up. We can go up, across, down, and then over to past New York and over to Long Island. So we're going to probably head to the beginning of the C&D Canal. We'll anchor somewhere around here tonight. Then tomorrow we'll go through the canal under a lot of bridges, which is quite scary for us with our mast. And then we'll probably anchor somewhere around here, not sure yet. And then we're going to sail down to Cape May, which is right on the point. Cape May is right there. And we can get in there. If we zoom in, we can get in there and anchor in here. And apparently Cape May is really nice, so we may spend a few days there and then wait for a weather window to do an overnight sail from there all the way up around the top of Long Island and into the Hamptons.
I'm getting anxiety looking at this bridge, thinking there's no way we're going to pass underneath this without the mast falling off and touching the bridge. Okay, I'm just playing, but that's what it looks like when you look at it from here. You just think there's no way we're gonna make this. We're gonna have to duck, aren't we?
No, look at the size of the truck.
We're definitely gonna have to
Look at
duck.
the size of the trucks up there, the lorries. Our mast's probably the size of them.
No, we're gonna have to duck.
No.
We're gonna have to turn the boat on its side like this so we can
Well, I'll tell you what,
angle
why
it.
don't we put you up the mast, we'll hoist you up the mast and you can
I'll push us over.
The only other bridge we have been under in the whole 3 years of sailing was in Curacao. So this, believe it or not, was quite a mad experience for us.
Haha, got you. I reckon that boat behind us was just making sure that we could go under it to see if they could go under it. Look at that bridge, that is amazing. James and I were just saying that there's so many dead fish floating in the Chesapeake Bay, and you have to take a double look at what they are, because you think, oh, it's a bit of rubbish, and then we've just googled why there are so many of these fish. You can see about 4 over there, and because it's calm you can actually see them floating on the surface.
I think it's a rockfish, a striped bass.
Yeah, so what they're saying is that there's been so much pollution that's been washed into the Chesapeake Bay with wetter than normal conditions, and so the fish are dying because there's no oxygen, and also the fish are trying to find areas where the water is less warm because the temperatures have risen greatly with the heat. So the fish are trying to find areas where it's less warm, but the fishermen are then finding them easier because they know the cooler areas.
It's got its eyes missing, so probably the seagulls have pecked the eyes out, but they've got so many dead fish, they're like, oh, I don't really feel like fish today, I'll just leave it.
They've become picky. They know they can just come back for it later.
Yeah.
But you can see all of them over there. Let's go and take a closer look. Glyphosate is a massive one which we humans need to be aware of, because glyphosate is on our fruit and veg, and then we ingest it, and glyphosate is seriously bad for us as humans. Isn't that sad though?
What are you up to?
I was just reading the back of that label actually.
What is it, the pink stuff?
Is called the pink stuff. And it's bloody amazing. It is vegan, it's 99% natural ingredients. Well, sometimes that can be a bit sketchy because you can get natural ingredients through toxic means. Anyway, it says environmentally non-toxic, non-hazardous formulation and not tested on animals. So...
And also I see a Union Jack on it as well.
Oh! Really? Trust you to spot that. Trust you. I just love to know how someone's come up with this. You can just imagine if someone in their shed, they've obviously, I don't know, I mean it's completely natural, but it gets rid of rust. I mean...
Yeah, and it also should be said that it's a couple of pounds for that pot.
Yeah.
It's so cheap, whereas if you buy the marine stuff, you're paying so much more money, and this stuff takes the any dirt or any sort of rust off the stainless steel really well, doesn't it?
So this is not my toothbrush or James's, however...
Well, it's definitely not mine, it's pink.
So I take a bit of this, I put it on the metalwork, I leave it for a few minutes, and then afterwards, you can see here all this is clean. I just come back and in fact I'll do it on this one so you can see. I just rub into it like this. And this isn't kind of what you're meant to do. You're meant to then brush it off with a cloth like this, like a fluffy cloth. But I find what's really good is if I just keep going like this, it eventually dries out and then I can buff it off dry. And then I just leave it for a while. And it's amazing because the toothbrush gets into all the nooks and crannies and all the little rusty bits. I'm sure someone's going to say to us there's an amazing automatic tool to do that with.
I don't think there's an automatic tool, but there's loads of products, but they're really expensive, and I haven't found anything that's better than that. And it's British. Did we mention it was British? Cheers.
Cheers.
Well, that was a nice passage. We didn't really do any sailing, but it was super calm.
That was a lovely sailing passage.
Yeah, lovely motoring passage, but it was super calm. And I thought it was going to be a lot more industrial up here. I thought the canal was going to be, you know, for big ships and things like that. And we haven't seen a single big ship. We got overtaken by a tug.
This is
Delaware.
When we first saw this in a pub in Chesapeake, in Back Bay, I said to James, Yindelo's brought out a beer. So when you look at it quickly, Yindello is another sailing boat
Who we're friends with in Bonaire. Yeah. Hi guys, if you're watching.
But no, Yingling.
Yingling, it's really nice. American beers, first time I've had it.
It's actually really, really delicious, isn't it? Take 294. Good morning everybody, it's a beautiful day here today. We are in a little bay which we stopped at last night. As you can see, the weather is absolutely glorious. So we are heading up the canal today, which is the Chesapeake and Delaware Canal. We're currently here, so we just nestled in this little bay here, which was super calm, next to a place called VZ Neck. Can anyone else say that? VZ Neck. Anyway, we're going up the Elk River and we're going to enter through here and then come all the way through here, which is a number of different bridges. So a lot more ducking today to be done. It's going to be a little bit scary with the height of our mast. I'm sure we'll be fine. James just getting up the anchor. Morning, Captain.
Morning, Admiral.
James and I keep hearing these really loud bangs. We already know that this bay or this area is really echoey because we could hear last night the people's conversations on the boats over there. So if you were there in this bay, we heard every word you were saying. Yeah, it was quite funny because they weren't anywhere near us, but the echo, we could just, the sound was just traveling towards us. Anyway, there are these really loud bangs. It sounds like a bomb going off. We've heard about 8 of them. Maybe it's some sort of naval academy that's practicing. We hope we're not in the middle of a practicing ground because that would be scary. But yeah, if anyone knows in the area that we are now what that noise is, please let us know. Thank you. We're only in 3.4 meters of water here as well. We just wanted to show you on here the depth. So obviously in meters we're 2.6 meters depth, and as you can see here it says 2.7, but when we go to the tides, we're actually at high tide at the minute. So looking at this chart here, we know there's another 0.89 meters on top of what it's showing here. So 2.7, so 2 meters 7 plus another 0.89, you know what depth then you're dealing with. And the same here, if it's 3.6 here, you know you can add a 0.89 on top of that, and then again you know your depth. And then obviously you can refer back to this when it's low tide also to find out. So if you were here at this point now and it was here, you could find out what the low tide was and then you could work out your depth.
Well, this is quite exciting, isn't it?
It is. So this is breakfast this morning. We have a cherry and cacao smoothie made with almond butter, bananas, a little bit of kale, chlorella. Divine.
Not quite full English, but let's have a go anyway. Cheers.
Cheers. Careful, the cherry's got a pip in it.
Not bad actually. Yeah.
Not bad, not bad. Delicious. Cold, refreshing. Don't know what that bit was. on our tail, Roo?
Little Freddy, his name is.
Little Freddy. It's not quite so little though, is he? It's nice. Roo, just be careful leaning on that wire that it's not going to snap. You'll fall in.
It's alright, you're going to come and get me if I fall in.
Well, I'd rather not have to do that.
It's too much bother for you to come and get me. I want you to crack on. I'm just super sure.
Yeah, just with too much bother, you know, I'll just carry on, it's fine. I've got places to be, people to see. So we were about 20 minutes in up the canal, and there are some amazing houses nestled up on the hills behind the trees. And then if you look here, they've even got benches right out into the water, and they're purpose-built benches, so somewhere up behind there must be another house. I can see it just behind there. So they've got an amazing setup. Just come down and sit on the water's edge. Absolutely beautiful. How amazing to live here. Wow, we're close though, aren't we, Roo?
No.
The Chesapeake and Delaware Canal is 14 miles in length and 137 metres wide. It is a deep ship canal of 11 metres that connects the Delaware River with the Chesapeake Bay, as the name depicts. It includes 6 major automobile and railroad crossings. The canal has not been free from tragedy since its conception in the early 1800s. As more and more accidents occurred, the canal has gradually become wider and deeper to ensure the safety of passing ships and vessels.
So it looks like this tug actually fits in to this platform, and look, the tug's got a fly bridge so it can see over the top, but it's not actually a ship, it's just like a floating platform, and when the tug tucks into it at the back, then it can move it and control it. Haven't seen that before, it's pretty good. And it's from Singapore.
I'm just going past a nuclear power station. It's humongous.
The Hope Creek Nuclear Generating Station is the second largest in the United States, using the Delaware River as its cooling source.
Oh, lunch.
Sitting on a ferry. So we're just coming down the Delaware River at the moment. The wind's picked up, but as usual it's directly on the nose, so we're not sailing, but the waves have picked up a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. It always looks pretty calm on the camera. So we're coming down the Delaware River here, and the plan for tonight is to tuck up into this river here and anchor sort of somewhere up here. If I put the sonar charts on, yeah, so there's a little channel here that we can get in, and then it looks fairly deep. It's like 6 meters. Looks fairly deep, so we're going to tuck up around there, and that hopefully should be a lot calmer in the water here, so we'll get a good night's sleep. And then tomorrow we're going to it'll be a day sail to Cape May.
I've just come up to the front of the boat just to have a look for lobster pots, because from a distance they look like little tiny bits of rubbish, and they are everywhere. They're the most bizarre lobster pots we've ever seen. So James is trying to navigate through, but I just can't see where we're going to get through at this point. I can't see where we're going to get through. I mean, look at that. I don't know whether that piece of wood has got caught on it or... Wow, they're absolutely everywhere. Go slightly left. I think some lobster pot fisherman has had a field day putting out lobster pot buoys. Maybe he had a few drinks on the way out, but they are literally everywhere. He's probably sat somewhere in like a little hut with binoculars, amusing himself at everybody weaving in and out of all the pots. Not so funny. Okay, I think this one up ahead might be the last of it. Wow, it looks a bit like swampland, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We've come into the Rye Marshes. Even the weather looks a bit UK-fied, doesn't it?
Yes. Quite hot though.
On a hot day. This is called an oxbow lake.
No, it's not. Hasn't been cut off completely, has it?
Okay, so hang on.
Well, actually, no. It could be because it just goes across there. So you're probably right. But Oxbow Lake is when the river
comes off.
The river,
and cuts
yeah.
off that.
So it's not an Oxbow Lake.
Anybody else remember that from geography when they were 15? It's a very bizarre situation, and one that we don't really think we've been in before. We've got the tide coming this way and the wind's coming this way, and the wind is stronger than the tide, but they're both quite strong. So the anchor, as you can see, is at an angle, and 1 minute we're going this way and then the next minute we're going that way, and almost getting wrapped around the anchor. We had quite a nice sleep last night, although both of us were a little bit nervous about where we're anchored. Obviously, we are anchored in a river, so we were worried that maybe some bigger ships might come past us and hopefully they could see us. So we left our lights on outside yesterday so that we could be seen. And I'm just going to show you where we are on the map, or on the chart, should I say. So this is us here, and this is the river. Oh, we're actually at Bacon's Neck. Did you know that?
No.
We're at Bacon's Neck.
I wonder if there's any chance of a bacon sandwich this morning. Probably not. Probably not smoothie.
We've got a little boat over here that came over to ask us earlier on how deep it was here. I don't think they've got a depth sounder, and if you've got certain charts, it doesn't tell you how deep it is here either. We've got Navionics on one of our other laptops, which is great because it's super accurate with the depth, because it picks up every other sailor's depth and maps it on the charts as they go along, so then we can see the depth in detail all the way along this river. So I think those guys over there are just waiting for us to leave so they can come and sit right here, so they know they're going to be safe for the night.
Well, leaving took longer than we thought, as the wind and tide had us going in all directions as we tried to get the anchor up.
It's very windy here at the front of the boat, so I have my scarf on so I can look out the front. Obviously when we came in yesterday there were loads of lobster pots, so I'm looking out from the bow of the boat. Well, this is not what we expected on our way to Cape May, but it can't always be sunshine. You've got to have the off day occasionally. You can see here where the two tides meet, so if we'd come when it was quite rough and windy, then probably it would be quite rough just here. I'm really not sure if you can see this on the camera, but it looks like there's lots of little creatures coming up to the surface of the sea, but it's not. They're little tiny whirlpools that are circulating where the currents are meeting. There's one there. Hello. Okay, so we've just established that these two planes, there's one over there, I don't know if you can see them now, and one there, they're actually love letters to someone. And can you see through the binoculars? I'm trying to let you see through the binoculars. No, that's not happening. Let me tell you what that says through the binoculars. It says, oh, okay, he's turning back, he's turning back. He's realised that I'm trying to look. Can you hold the camera?
Tony, 75, cheers for 75 years.
I think they're love letters because the other one said, "Dear Summer." The years won't stop going by or something. Anyway, cheers, Tony.
Tony 75. The weather is pretty shit.
You know what we need in this weather room?
What's that?
Nice open fire. Oh.
Nice open fire.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a mayday call if there's an open fire on board.
Next time, aboard Aequus, we arrive at Cape May and explore its delights. And we make sail for the Hamptons. And we make an emergency call to the US Coast Guard. And as night falls, we make a plan B and nestle in for the night in Montauk.